Hello and welcome to this presentation giving you an overall view on how to access Call Focus results on the new Customer Insight platform. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm using a test username and password. You will be given your own, which you will enter here, and then you can sign in. This will display the Leisure Centre welcome page, and to access the call results, we'll need to click on the Call Focus, which is in a drop-down list in the left-hand column. This gives us 7 options. Firstly, we need to click on Select Survey. There is only one survey within this test site, but some clients choose to have more than one, perhaps for different departments within the Leisure Centre. They're for different questions, different surveys. So here is where you would select the survey that you would like to see the responses for, and then click Submit and Confirm. So now we go down to responses. This gives us all the responses that have been input, so all the calls. They are currently put in the newest to the oldest date order. This can be changed by clicking the arrow by submission date. So there we go, from the oldest to the newest. So we have 3 calls in November and 3 calls in October. This can also be done for the score. So here we have the overall percentage score and the overall maximum score. And you can click on the arrows beside those to display them from the lowest to the highest and the highest to the lowest. Okay, so if we click on each response, they each have their own ID number. We'll see the survey on the right-hand side. This will show you all of the questions, the answers that have been given, and the score that's allocated to that answer. At the top where it says file name, it will display whether it be a weekday, weekday evening, or weekend call, and the date the call was made. The actual time the call was made will be specified on the digital recording. So I've uploaded some recordings for the demonstration. So if we go down to this one, it shows a small blue headphone icon beside the ID number. Now, because this call was answered on the first attempt, there is only one recording attached. So if we click on the blue headphone icon, it will bring the recording straight up for us to listen to. If there's more than one recording, so if we skip to this ID, this response, it shows us there was more than one phone call made, in fact 3. So this is downloaded as a zip file. So if we click on the blue headphones again, this time it will download the zip file here. Once that's downloaded, if we click on that, it will bring up the zip folder, and within that folder are the 3 recordings. And then you would click on those individually to listen to each of them. Okay, so that's where all the responses and all of the digital recordings will sit. If we go on to response analysis next, we can skip actions because that's not applicable to Call Focus, that's feedback and NPS. So go to response analysis. This allows you to filter responses by question and by date. Say, for example, I wanted to look at all of the breakdowns of all of the questions and responses in October. I would leave all here to show me all questions and responses and filter the dates out for October. So October the 1st to October the 31st. If I wanted all of October's and November's, I'd go from the 1st of October to the end of November, and it would show me all the responses that are in there. Then click Submit and Confirm. This now shows me that in that time bracket, October, there was 3 responses, which is correct. And it filters down by question all of the responses. So here, for example, how soon was your call answered? Of the 3 responses for October, 2 of those are answered within 3 rings or less, and 1 was a non-successful contact. We also have the pie chart here, and the keys can be removed just to show you breakdown of specific analysis, response analysis. You can also print these out and download them. And the same here, you can print, copy, or save as a CSV, Excel, or PDF file. If you just want to know the responses that follow a certain question and answer, so for example, just want to know all the breakdowns for responses for calls answered within 3 rings, here in the filters, you would select how soon was the call answered, and then 3 or less. Again, select dates and submit. And this will just analyse the questions based on the calls that were answered within 3 rings. So in this case, it was just 2. So that's all the analysis based on those 2 calls. Okay, so now we go to reports. This gives you an overall score for all input responses to date and a breakdown of brand conformity and subjective assessment questions. And along the bottom, we have a longitudinal graph with monthly comparisons. If you hover over them, it shows the average monthly score. And this can also be downloaded and printed by clicking here. So now we go on to league table. Again, then we have a date selection option at the top. So we've got here 1st January to the end of November, so that'll basically give us all 6 responses. But if you change that date selection, just click submit and that will refresh this information. So the league table will have a list of all the leisure centres and their overall score. Again, this can be copied, printed or saved. And you can use the search box to select a specific leisure centre. So you could do that alphabetically, it would bring up that leisure centre. Here we have the operator average, so that's an overall average based on all of the leisure centres, and a national average, and this is based on all call focus scores that are generated from other clients using the call focus service within the new platform. At the bottom we have a league table score chart. Again, this is the national and operator averages, and then each leisure centre's average score, and by hovering over them you'll get the score, but it's also displayed as a percentage at the end of each bar. Again, by clicking here, this can be printed and downloaded. Next, we have graphs. We can skip graphs. That, again, is not applicable for the call focus service. So basically, that's the end of the call focus demonstration. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, Sarah Forster, on 01603 865 631, or email me, sarahforster@leisure-net.org. And if you can't get hold of me, please feel free to call the head office on 01603 814 233 and speak to either Sarah Gilvey or Mike Hill. Thank you very much.